My friends, we have to discuss some things today, which a lot of people don't really care to, but I'm going to do it, and it's regarding the left, the president. I'm going to bring you some updates on Mrs. L, what she did yesterday, some incredibly fascinating updates, which I know you will get a kick out of it. The Warriors are on the warpath, so to speak. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about Signal, what the president has to do, and this idea, which is what is 585 days from today? What is it? What is 585 days from today? We'll talk about that. I'll talk about my new spiffy, only for today, the White House mug, the White House gift shop. This is Donald Trump, President 47. Yesterday, Mrs. Dell's got pictures of, it was Cherry Blossom Day. So much to discuss and to go through with you. And I want you to keep an open mind, use your head, and try to take everything you've ever learned about politics or government from everybody else and throw it out the window. Because if we're going to win, if we're going to succeed, that's what we need to do. Plain and simple, my friends, plain and simple. All right? Good. So in the meantime, the first thing we have to do is make sure that you pay attention to these important and critical words from our important and critical sponsor. Are you feeling buried under credit card bills? Personal loans piling up? Well, you're not alone, and you don't have to face it alone either. Millions of Americans are struggling with debt, and for many, National Debt Relief has been the trusted solution. With just one call or a few clicks, you can find out if you qualify for a proven program that could reduce what you owe and help you become debt-free faster than you ever thought possible. National Debt Relief works by negotiating directly with your creditors on your behalf. That means lower payments, less stress, and no more collection calls. They've helped over 500,000 people resolve more than $10 billion in debt, and they're ready to help you too. There's no upfront cost, no obligation, and no pressure. Just real support from a team that's A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and ranked #1 for debt relief services in America. So if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card or unsecured debt, don't wait. Go to NoDebtWithLionel.com. That's NoDebtWithLionel.com. Take the first step, get your life back, because you deserve peace of mind. How many of you have never been to our nation's capital? Quick show of hands. How many people have never been to D.C.? Ever. Ever. Not in your life, not as a school, not recently, not whatever. When was the last time you went to D.C.? Anybody? Just curious. And how many, by the way, have never been? Have never been? How many you've never been to D.C.? Never been. Never see it? Never. Because it's one of the most unique places there is. And you must go. You must go, and you must be a part of it. And there are very few places. And I think, isn't it true, honey, when you get off Union Square, you get a Union Station with the train, it's great to take a train. It's so, because Amtrak is really the only way to go, at least from New York. But when you get out and you walk out, don't you feel something kind of special? Yes. Mrs. L says, it is clean, it is packed, there is a spirit of happiness, there is everything is different. We were there, the last time I was there, I think it was during that COVID thing. Yeah, Trump was not, and it was Biden, and it was so bleak, and so it was, first of all, empty. And I'm very, very sensitive to when things are empty. One of the strangest things I've ever experienced during the Rona was when you could go from the west side of Manhattan to the east side, from the Hudson to the East River, on theater day, on Wednesday, matinee, straight across in 30 seconds. It was like nothing I've ever seen before. He's like, what is wrong with this picture? I could not believe what I was seeing. Could not believe it. It was so strange. There are sometimes I'm very, very affected by where I am. One of the sites which I never forget, which it never ceases to amaze me, is when you're coming from, let's say, LaGuardia or JFK, and you're coming into the city and you see that skyline. It, to this day, just blows me away. I mean, I can't even believe what I'm seeing. Certain things really, they just affect me. I've been places, and the smells. I have been since I was a kid, and I don't know what this is. And I'm not going to in any way opine or explain. But whether it's the electromagnetic waves, the frequencies, the energy, I don't know what you call it. I am so affected by my surroundings, so affected by a lot of things, by how weather, and I don't mean I mean really, truly psychically affected. For the better. I mean, not debilitated, but I feel things. I have looked at pictures and felt that I was, quote, I was there. There is a feeling of almost familiarity, not reincarnation. I don't have a name for it. I just have a name for the feeling. And I could look places and I could say, this is, I've been here, for lack of a better word. When I first stepped foot in New York and lived in New York, lived here, not visited. Visiting is one thing. When you live here and you have a neighborhood and you know your neighborhood and you know what it's like at night, there's nothing like being in your neighborhood when the city comes up, when from sunrise and you see the streets and the vendors. I mean, it is so. I remember telling Jerry Wexler at the time, I said, I've been here. I feel so familiar. I see old buildings and I feel a warmth in my heart that would turn you off. You would say, it's disgusting. I don't feel like that. I don't know why. I can't explain it. Wexler said his line was, I was a lock slicer on the Lower East Side about 100 years ago. So I believe in certain things. And there are intangible feelings that I feel, certain things I'm aware of, and certain, whatever you want to call it. And when Biden was in office, after having been to D.C. With Trump and then with Biden, it was so different. It was like nobody was there. There was a feeling of loss. Not of losing the election, but I mean of loss. An emptiness, a shallowness, something that you cannot put into words. Enter Trump, 2016, that right outside the White House. What's that main street, that White House? It's across from Treasury and whatever that 15th or whatever that street is. Anyway, right, the White House is here, Treasury is here. Yeah, 15th. Right, there's this White House gift shop. I bought everything you can imagine, every piece of anything. Soaps, chocolate, mugs. This is the latest little edition. By the way, the official Lionel merch is available here. I'm doing this just as a prompt. In any event, there was an excitement there. People, it was like nothing you've ever seen. People were happy. I got a picture of me right around the corner from them. And I ran into these ladies from Wisconsin or something. Wisconsin Women for Trump. There was such a feeling, such an excitement. In my lifetime, I never felt it before. The only thing I saw that was even remotely similar to this was when people would go to various conventions and they'd wear the hats and But that's not it. This was different. Donald Trump created an absolute, it was mythical, magical, mystical. It was like nothing I've ever seen in my life. And I could tell people this. And we loved, especially in DC, because we know a lot of people, we do very well with, dare I say, foreigners. And the reason why we do well with foreigners is that we have this, they see things differently. And when you talk to somebody who has been, let's say, in a communist country, or somebody who's been, some type of, I don't know what the word is, something, they appreciate him more than you could ever believe. Now, they also understand, we saw something which is very interesting. It was this thing called evil. Now, yesterday I did a series of videos on the Milgram experiment. And I love this. Milgram experiment, HARP, psychopath versus sociopath versus evil. I did one on the Stanford prison experiment. There's another one too. Oh, was that HARP? Anyway, because many people I found out who are new to the conspiratorium kind of need a tutorial, so to speak. They need maybe a tutorial on the basics, because we throw things at HARP and this and that. And I'm going to mention things like Mockingbird and others as well. But there are these interesting aspects of it. And one of them is trying to explain to people deep state, police state, kind of intel state, shadow government, ruling class, all of these people behind the scenes. And what happened when they took Biden and they brought him in and pitched and fixed everything to him. Either he was compromised, either he was, I don't know what the word is, he was just picked. And nothing could have happened without him. Nothing. Nothing could have happened with him. Okay. We felt a loss that we couldn't believe. I have never suffered from what I think is clinical depression, ever. And I don't take that term lightly. It's a very, very serious term. It's something that doesn't mean somebody's sad. It's debilitating beyond anything anybody could ever imagine. But I was in a 4-year, I think maybe you were the same way, kind of a malaise. A sort of, I don't know what the word is. Things weren't right. Then came COVID. COVID was something that it was, thank you for letting me experience it. I learned so much more. I don't want to go through this again. Thank you. This sounds really weird. Of all the places to be in the city during 9/11, I wish it never happened, but to be here, to see, changed my life. Can't explain it. For somebody to have been to see the Berlin Wall fall, it's got to be mind-numbing. And as I've always been like this, but I feel it maybe more now. There's a spirituality that I feel. And it's nothing to do with God or mysticism. It's a sense of I understand. And I feel imbued with it. Oh, I get it. And there's one thing we talked yesterday about what AI will never be able to do. I don't think so. It's a sense of that sense of the light bulb going off. That sense of, wait a minute. Awareness and recognition and surprise. And that's what it is. So Mrs. L is just, she's going to be talking to you. Make sure you follow her at Lynn's War. She's got loads of pictures. Union Station was cleaner. The bums are gone. Kids families, and foreign. Sometimes, obviously, Asian folk, the people walking around with the flag. Seriously, would you give a damn about, Paris, or from the government point of view? Would you want to go to Brussels? Would you? Maybe they want to come and see Washington, D.C. The only thing in Washington, D.C. is government. That's it. History, museums, and that kind of thing. That's it. And it's also a funky place too. Some parts very inner city. Some people kind of sketchy. Other places beautiful. Anyway, families. The White House gift shop pouring with people. Oh, and people on the streets. This is the best part. Selling MAGA hats, individual, making a fortune. When speaking of 9/11, everybody sold. We were Americans, stand tall, we'll never forget. None of them American. That's one way to find out what the sentiment is by what they're selling. Because you're not going to invest money in all this stuff if there's no feeling out there. You never saw it with Biden. You never saw anybody, hey, Biden, never. It was like he wasn't there. By the way, another thing too about selling. If you're in New York, Manhattan in particular, Midtown in particular, if you want to know if it's going to rain, when you see either the Nigerians, I don't know if they're Nigerians, but the Africans, they show up selling umbrellas. Maybe, do they still do that? But they used to sell this official, everybody's got it, this black umbrella that lasts maybe 2-3 hours. We've got thousands of them. You've purchased over they extend, you push the button, they have a little spring. But when they show up and they start selling this, you know it's going to rain. Forget the weather app. They're always right. It's a change. It is a change. Raul says, to the left, Trump is thing from Adam's family. Yeah, I think so. Maybe. The only problem is thing from the Adams family was loved. Andy Carmen says, I'd rather visit Philly. Philly has a very unique feel too. It's just right there. This one little place. Constitution Hall, Constitution Center, the graves, or the cemetery. That's it. Right there. After that, it's kind of a funky place. I don't feel really warm there. It's a weird thing. But for history, oh, absolutely. And the Constitutional Center, you're going to go see it. It's very, very good. But and also they have, here's something you don't see. They have very small streets. This is in the city. Around Center City, and there's the streets are small and the sidewalks are small, and the people, they're bums. They're on the street like it's a murder scene. They're just right there. They don't hide. They're not in a box. Have you noticed here? We don't see that here. You don't see it now. We went through something. We walked out the door and there were people shooting heroin. I've never seen this before in my life. In boxing, they're gone. This can go. These people are like a yeast infection. I hate to say this. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes if you take an antibiotic, you kill the lactobacillus and candidiasis, you get this, the bad bacteria, or the bad bacteria, they rise to the top and you get a yeast infection, candida, candidiasis, monilia, whatever. That's what these people are. There's a balance. Gut biome, the biota. That's what this is. Absolutely. There is this thing. That's why law enforcement is so critical. When you walk out and you say, hey, things are good, it's like, no. Things are controlled. Bad guys aren't here. Yeast infection is gone. No. Hey, I don't have a yeast infection. Your flora is in balance. The moment that's out, you'll get one. They're ready to go. All the stuff is there. They're ready to go. C. diff, you don't want to do that. That's what crime is. That's what it is. It's not that they're coming in. They're there, but they will not rise unless you create the situations where they are, dare I say, welcome. If that makes any sense at all. Okay. I know this is a bit odd, but let me explain it to you. Okay, now, let's talk about some other things which are critical. What President Trump is doing right now is so monumentally important, so critical, so important at levels we never thought possible. And I mentioned to you, there's two things we need to do. And there's got a couple of videos. There's one, by the way, I did one called AAVE, VE. I mentioned this African American Vernacular English. I did one on Jasmine Crockett. That's out there right now. Oh, you'll get a kick out of this one. And it's a rather scholarly take on that, for lack of a better word. And there's something which you have to understand. 585 days. Did anybody answer? What's 585 days from today? What is it? What is this? Joe says, legalize only marijuana. Okay, Joe, thank you. I like when people all of a sudden will just say something like, pigeons are not bad. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Midterms. What are we doing for midterms? What are we doing? Everything square away? Here's what we're going to do. I'm in charge. I have this fantasy where I told you, I like to be the guy who is in charge of, stuff. And I don't go to the White House, but I'm like Charlie's Angels, they have a speaker and I speak. Susie Wiles is kind of out there, but I'm even more powerful. I'm the gatekeeper. Nobody knows who I am. And I say, here's what we're going to do. Folks, a lot of you are young people. When you go to Washington, maybe it's me, but you can't believe how many young people are there. You cannot believe how many young people are there. You will also be surprised sometimes at what Secret Service looks like, what federal employees look like. Now that they're back, you get to see them again and think, wow. Number one, critical beyond critical. Number one, we have to make people aware of the following. We don't have to keep convincing the people that already voted for us or are going to vote again what we're doing. In 585 days, my concern is going to be nothing but Democrats, not Republicans. I don't care about Republicans. We got them. Until further notice, going on Fox News is a waste of time. I don't know why you do this. I don't know where you people come from. I think you're like, maybe you like it because you can tell your friends, hey, I was on Fox News. And maybe your friends maybe that's old time conservatism. I don't know. We don't go on Fox News anymore. I don't know what you're doing on Fox News. What are you going to Fox News for? What are you talking to Brett Baer for? Laura Ingraham. This may come as a surprise to you. Laura Ingraham is not warm and fuzzy. I don't know why you're on with her. You might, Hannity too. Stiff. Jesse Waters. What are you doing this for? These are for the already the one over. Why are you doing this? Why, in the name of God, are you doing this? Why, in the name of God, are you doing this? We don't understand why you're doing this. We just don't understand it. What is the purpose of this? Why are you going on these shows? And I want to go around the room and I'm going to sit there and say, you, who is our voter? Who are we after? Democrats, swing voters, independents, maybe somebody who was a Democrat. We're going to bring him over. Why are you going on to Jesse or Laura Ingraham or Brett? What are you doing? What the hell's the matter with you? If you want to, Pam Bondi. Did you see Kristi Noem walking around with a $60,000 Rolex with her hat? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you playing, Bob? You playing like Charlie's Angels? What is this? What are you doing here? That doesn't work with anybody. You're doing that for you. You're doing that for you. You want to be the hot. Have you seen, I'm going to say something to you. Have you seen the pictures of these women before facelifts and all this? Have you seen this? Go down the list. I'm going to say, ladies, God bless you. But this ain't a fashion show. This ain't I saw a picture. I'm sorry. I did not. I saw a picture of Lara Trump. I wouldn't have never even, I would have recognized her to say Kristi Noem. I wouldn't have recognized her. Alina Habba, great people. What are you doing? I'm standing like this. Is this a Vogue shoot? Stop. From now on, if you want to do this, you wait until we're out of office. Or you can leave now and go do that. We don't do that here. This is my voter. I'm going to get a picture of America. This is my voter. This is a Democratic woman or man. I don't know, middle age, maybe with kids, maybe not necessarily educated. I don't know who would not think has not a pair of Louboutins in their walk-in closet. They don't know what you're doing. I don't know where you're from with this. When you walk in and do this and you have all that stuff, they're looking at you like, these people aren't me. These people aren't me. Now, I'm going to say something to you, and you're not going to like this. When you go down the list, maybe it's me. Do you? Oh, there's that thumb thing again. When you go like this, then you get the balloons. Watch this. You get the balloons too. You get that something. Anyway. Can you think of anybody on the Democrats who's like glitzy, glammy? Maybe I'm missing the point. Maxine Waters, AOC. Is she? Not really. She's annoying, but is she? Not really. Alina Habba. I mean, not sorry. Rashida Tlaib. This Ayanna Pressley. Not really. Jasmine Crockett. Well, there ain't no glamour on Capitol Hill. But let me tell you something. These folks, I don't know what we're doing here. What are you doing? I know this. This is so funny. I know there's this woman. I'm not going to mention her name. And I got to be careful because she's going to hear this. She has this thing she's trying to do where she wants to be a kind of an influencer, okay? And her target are middle-aged average women. Middle-aged, older. And what does she do? What's her thing? Her walk-in closet. Because she just can't get past the fact. She says, I got a walk-in closet. I've got my shoes up here. And women are saying, I don't know who you are. I got my shoes. They're under the bed. I got kids. I got toys. I keep stepping on Legos. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. What world do you live in? Her thing is, oh, that was just a front. It's about me. I'm glamorous. I'm the Lauren Sanchez. You got to hear me out on this one. Say what you want about. I like J.D. Vance. What about his story? I'm just a redneck. Okay, you won't believe this. I'm just a guy from whatever. Okay. You know what I love about Elon Musk? Number one, you know what I love about? You never know. If you saw him, you'd say, guess who the richest man in the world is? Guess. Trump 47. Isn't that a beaut? Look at that. Trump 47. Guess who the rich? Him. That guy? That guy. Do you see all the billionaires he's got? The guy who owns Airbnb? I love that. Oh my God, I love that. I love the guy who owns the factory who wears the same things that the employees wear. There was a fellow years ago. There was a Japanese car company or something. I forget what it was. And every birthday, every employee, they gave the women a special kind of collector set of this china that's so expensive, but you build this up the longer you stay. And then they give them something. The owner said, where do the employees eat? He said, well, they eat over there, but you eat over there. He goes, no, close that down. They had like an executive, close that down. We eat with the employees. I want a smock. They wore like a lab, or some kind of industrial. That's what I want to wear. So you don't understand. I'm into looks. I'm into feel. And I want to do everything in my power. Believe it or not, Ronald Reagan, he'd go up there with his horse and this guy, he kind of got into him. George W. Bush, he never felt like he felt like he was just a regular guy. That means a lot. Absolutely. Believe it, interestingly enough, ironically, Trump is into the, gilded this and that and the planes and I'm a billionaire. But, he just is so the way he speaks. So I would get rid of all this stuff. All this stuff. You're not winning anybody over. And Christy Nolan, if I find out you're on a raid one more time with a $60,000 watch, what is the matter with you? What is the matter? And if you're going to go on one raid, you got to go on 5. Commit yourself. Don't go one time. If you're not going to go 5, 10 times, forget it. And you stand in the background. And you wear a raid jacket that doesn't highlight your figure. And you look like the rest of these people. And if you don't like what I'm saying, get out of here. There's a reason why the military wears uniforms. There's a reason why we have certain haircuts. There's a reason why we do this. That's number one. Number 2, Elon, I love you. I love you to death. But here's what you're going to do for me. Did you see that? Did you see all these people? The guy from Airbnb? I didn't know these people's names. You're going to go into, and I picked it up. I pulled this out of my ass. Ready for this? Warrenstown, Ohio. I just made that name up. What's that? Very heavy blue state. And they got a good airport. Oh, when you and all your billionaires are flying. Impress the shit out of these people. But you're going to look like this now. Don't? Okay. I was saying with Elon. Do you ever see a picture of Elon's house? Nope. Do you ever see his car? Nope. Not like the Tate brothers. By the way, lose the Tate brothers. You were remember I said this to you? And remember this? And remember this? I'm telling you, if you don't know what's going on there, I can't go with it. Trust me. Tate brothers, lose them. Okay? Big time. Conor McGregor, lose them. The funniest thing I read today was somebody who said, isn't it funny that here's Rosie O'Donnell. She leaves. I love this. She leaves the U.S., moves to Ireland. She moves to Ireland, and the president could be Conor McGregor, theoretically. Okay. Now, Elon, you're going to get all you guys, you're going to fly into Warrensville, Ohio, wherever I said. And you're going to go to a school. They have a nice big they have a big like a gym, and you can park I prefer you park the planes away, but I want you to drive in, and you're going to have a town meeting there. And you can say, let me explain Doge to you. And you can have a bunch of people say, is Mr. Warren Thompson here? Mr. Thompson, have a seat. Mr. Thompson, what do you do? Well, I have I have a cafe. We're all going to go there. Thank you very much. Mr. Thompson, how many employees do you have that you pay who don't ever show up to work? Anybody here? Do you have any farmers here? Yeah. How many of you employ people who do not work, who do not show up to your job? Anybody? Anybody out there? Anybody? No. Well, why don't you do that, Mr. Thompson? Why don't you do it? Well, that makes no sense. Precisely. Now, remember, here's Elon. He's got a T-shirt on with a bunch of billionaires, and they're in a high school, let's say a gym. And you got all these people. There's no cameras there. They got phones there. There's my camera. This will be all over the world in 5 minutes. It'll be even more popular when you see this idea of not the lights and the Caitlin Clark or Clayton, whatever her name is, Collins, or I don't even know. Look at this. Freddie Haddad, bless his heart, just gifted 10 Lionel Nation memberships. Thank you, my friend. But listen to what I'm saying. It's the fireside chat meets all these other things. They will love President Trump. They will love him. And you got this billionaire there. He says, let me explain to you what Doge is doing. How many of you folks think you're getting too much from your Social Security? None. Do you know how many people one was over 200 years old? And you can say, oh, they're laughing about this. But it's true. Where'd that money go? Mr. Thompson, do you think we should stop that? And people say, well, drop in the bucket. Drop in the bucket. A lot of buckets out there. When I leave, they will love us. Oh, and by the way, to thank you for your courtesy, we notice we're going to build you a nice track out there. And it's going to be the Donald Trump, whatever it is. We're all chipping in. We're going to buy you a track or whatever you need, a new street light, or whatever the hell it is. Because here's Elon's message. No matter what you think about us and our money and our wealth and who we are, you are what we're about. You're the United States. You're the backbone. Airbnb isn't anything without people going to Airbnb. Uber, unless people do it. Now, I'm a little different. I send rockets. I don't really care. But Twitter, we need you. We believe in this country. When I leave, they're going to be crying. And who are these people? Democrats. Well, they used to be Democrats. Midterms. Are you helping us or not? Let me tell you what the Democrats are going to do for you. Democrats are putting up a fight. Oh, yeah. And your congressman? Oh, we got to go in. And plus, if we can primary somebody, too. They won't know what hit them. Because I believe in psyops. I believe in propaganda. I believe in language. I believe in message. I believe in feel. I believe in music. I believe in love. I think Mac Davis said it best. They asked Vince McMahon one time, what's your model? What's WW? It was WWF thing. What's WWF? He said, oh yeah? He said, McDonald's. Disneyland. That's it. Not wrestling, Disneyland. I remember, forget somebody. One of my favorites. Do you ever go to TJ Maxx? Dear God, TJ Maxx is one of the greatest stores. Oh my God. Holy shit. Oh my God, there's one off of Route 3. Whew. So, who were we talking to, honey? We asked. They said, the only thing about TJ Maxx is sometimes when they take the stuff off, they don't put the clothes back. They go, oh, no, we like that. I goes, oh, no. It looks busy. It looks like, oh my God, I sit there. When Mrs. L goes there, I walk in there and we call it, there's a place I go where we call it the asshole chair, where all the men, the assholes, sit there. And it's in the furniture, not the furniture, but like they have the recliners. And that's where I go, beautiful. I say, honey, take your time. Got my headphones on, I'm watching. And I watch women walk up and they touch. They just touch stuff. They just go through things. You ever seen this? They just go through. They're not going to buy it. I don't know what it is. They just pick things up. They touch. And then when you check out, they got all this tchotchkes and peanuts and stuff. It's brilliant. When you go into a store, you notice how when you go in the store, what's the first thing that's right there? The bakery, the sushi, whatever it is. Oh. And they used to blow smoke, not smoke, but used to blow the scent of baking goods this way. They also have the perimeter. They have the good stuff for you on the outside. They know exactly how the shelves work, where you come up and you can see the particular items. Some are eye level, some are lower. I want everything figured out. I want everything down to the look. I want everything down. And then, Elon, you're going to go to, somehow we're going to go to a black community. I want my black voters. You did a hell of a job as a president with black barbershops. Then we're going to go to the Amish. That might be too much of a push, but we're going to thank them. We're going to do something. We're going to thank them. If one of you people goes on Fox News, you're fired. When you go, we make our media. We do it. We don't go to Laura Ingraham, who, by the way, I don't know about you, but Laura Ingraham, there is nothing nice or warm or inviting about Laura Ingraham. I don't know why they do it. Steve Ducey even kind of like, hey, stop that. This is our phone. The best media person they have there, or two, the most loyal is Dan Scavino that Trump has. And number two is Margot Martin, as they say, because people don't say T's. I don't know why. Margot Martin has an eye. She's fantastic. She goes to an event. She puts up, oh my God, it's beautiful. She's got a phone. She's got an eye. She knows this. Do you ever how some people, we have a relative, she does this. This is where she takes pictures. And people are looking like this. And I say, what are you doing? I went crazy when somebody said, it's not the way you pose a picture. Margot Martin is the best. You go there and you have Margot teach people, and you can say, we're not going to bring Fox News. We're going to show you people's pictures. You be our cameraman. Spread the word. We want you to be Trump's army. Please go on, spread it. Go on social media. Oh my God. People will jump in. They'll forward it for you. Get all those people. Get hold of Cat Turd and whoever you want. Laura Loomer, the libs of TikToks. And by the way, Laura Loomer is a monster in the best sense of the word. She's redefining. Don't get her mad at you. I'm serious. She's just incredible. These are the new people out there, the new everything. But you listen to me. We go to a place. There's no cameras. You're the camera. Be our cameraman. Spread the word. And that's it. And then there are people going to see, do you know what happened? Yeah. Elon Musk and about 10 billionaires flew into Warrensville, Ohio, wherever the hell that is. And why did they tell us? Because we don't need you. We don't need CNN, MSDNC. We don't need you. I'll never forget this. RT is one of the best networks to know everything that's going on in the world. They won't even allow it in this country. But MSDNC is? Who wrote this law? This OFAT nonsense. What are you doing? Biden hated RT so much, he wouldn't let Americans appear in another country. What difference does it make? You don't want RT in this country? Okay, fine. They don't want you to appear on something that in Moscow or wherever. I don't understand. What about my First Amendment? Screw your First Amendment. It's the weirdest thing in the world. Here we go. MRO says, MRO Levon, quake 10 kilometers deep, Mandalay, Myanmar, natural or deep state, don't know. But thank you. Don't know about that. I did one thing on weather manipulation yesterday. See that one. So, are you following this? What I'm telling people is, oh my God, Fox News, forget Fox News. They don't get Fox News. They don't get CPAC. They don't get any of this stuff. Those are the club kids. That's not how you win an election. Listen to me. Do you know what CNN would do? He did what? Yeah, did you hear the story? Yeah. Elon Musk flew in about 10 people. Nobody, they're not allowed. CNN, you're not allowed. No way. I want these people to feel free. I don't want them to, no way. Gay people, old people. Oh my God, you got to tell old people Social Security. Social Security. That's what you do. So we got this one. Everybody understand? Listen to me. It will freak them out because I'm going to say this again. I'm not interested in the Fox News crowd. I'm interested in Democrats who may not even know they love Trump, who may love him already, but I really want the ones who think they hate him. And I want to show them. Let me ask you something. How many folks here, raise your hand, how many are you a baseball fan? What do you like? Oh, I like the Bears. Like the Dodgers. Yeah. Do you care who the coach is? Seriously. People say, oh, I love the Yankees. Yesterday was opening day. Who cares? Who's the Yankees coach? Pilgrim Media just gifted 5 Lionel Nation memberships. Thanks, PM. Who's the Yankees manager? Anybody know? What is it, Boone or I don't know. Who cares? It's the Yankees. It's the Yankees. They say, I'm not going to go at that damn Steinbrenner. Didn't matter. It's the owner. It's the Yankees. This is America. I don't give a shit who the president is, as long as he does the right thing. That's all I care about. I don't care about him, what he looks like, Cheeto face. Now, coming up, the second most important thing to do, which you're going to love, which is critical, which you must listen to me about, because it's important for you to note. And by the way, let me also tell you something. If you think that food is groovy, that everything is great, no problems with Trump, no emergencies, no, natural disasters, boy, are you in for a shock. If you're watching this, consider yourself warned. Food prices are about to explode, and the time to prepare is now. Listen, go to preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com and secure your 4-week emergency food supply now while supplies last. With new tariffs, listen to me, with new tariffs slamming the global market and inflation spiraling, your grocery bill is about to skyrocket. When the crisis hits, shelves will be empty, and those who didn't prepare will be left desperate. History proves it. Every major economic collapse, every supply chain disruption, the first thing to go is food. You do not want to be waiting in government lines, hoping there's enough left for you and your family. This 4-week emergency food kit delivers over 2,000 calories per day, ensuring you have the nutrients you need and your family needs to weather the storm. It's fortified for survival, packed in rugged, long-term storage containers, and can last up to 25 years. So when disaster strikes, you'll be ready. Order today, and you'll get 4 free 72-hour food kits. That's 12 extra days of meals at no cost. The regular price is $346.80, but right now, you get it for just $247. Don't wait until it's too late. Go to preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com, and lock in your emergency food supply before the real panic begins. Okay, important thing to note. A couple of things. Number one, and I said this to you before, there's a little meme going around, and X is so important. By the way, follow me at Lionel Media, which is important. But here's something which I want you to grasp, this particular meme. And it says as follows, very critical. It says, cocaine was found at Biden's house. A dead body was found at Obama's house. A male prostitute was found at Pelosi's house. An illegal server was found at Clinton's house. And the FBI raided Trump's house. Now, what does this mean? Well, it means a couple of things. First, and this is important, everybody listen to me. Here is what we are going to say about Signal Gate. You ready? Nothing. The following people will be allowed to discuss: Waltz, Hegseth, the president, of course, and Tulsi Gabbard. See Tulsi Gabbard? Beautiful. Brilliant. Mr. Gabbard, did you know that? Yes. And was this a military operation? Yes. And was this a... Yes. Yes. So these were military coordinates. Yes. That's it. That's it. Thank you. Then we go on. We move something else. Does the president fire Waltz? No. No. Let me make this straight. No. No. Ghettocracy. Ghetto's a wrong term. You do know that, right? You do know if you use the word ghetto, it's a wrong term. Completely wrong. I'm just saying. Doesn't really matter. President, no. Oh, yesterday, wow, we should get him right there. We should get all these people and get this guy. You get this Walton, because he's with that guy Goldberg and that. No. I'm the president. You're not going to tell me. What, the next week you don't like this guy? I got to do what? I got to fire him? No. Maybe you haven't read the name on the door. President of the United States. Sorry. Well, did they make a mistake? Live with it. When Joe Biden was basically selling this country out. And by the way, Rossano Rovello, isn't that a great name? Oh, Rossano Rovello. Signalgate is not irrelevant. We're going to treat it like it's irrelevant. Oh, between you and me, it's stupid. I would get and say, could you go through? Yeah, what the fuck are you doing? What's the matter with you? I sound like Don Cornelius. You could be a man. And don't go on Laura Ingraham, who is just, is there anybody who says, Laura Ingraham, she's such a nice person. I really like her. Talk about Ainsley, because she comes across nice and bubbly, and Steve, hey, let's go. That was my Bill Cosby voice. It was weird. Hey, let's send Edu. Let's send Lawrence. Lawrence, want to go to another diner? Okay. But Laura Ingraham? Oh, God. This thing, Laura, please, lay off. One more snip, and the whole thing is going to... Anyway. This is to teach him a lesson. I'm the president. You're not going to tell me what to do. I like Waltz. He's not moving. Now, let's talk about instead. We got MS-13. Did you hear what I said? Yeah, I'm not going to talk about this anymore. If you don't like what I'm doing, oh, that's right. I'm a lame duck. Okay, fine. Most people don't know what the hell you're talking about. Let's talk about MS-13. Let's talk about the fact that we did. Now, just between you and me, I think this Yemen thing is the most stupid thing I've ever heard in my life. I think the Middle East policy is a joke. And if I work with the president, I would say, you know what? Don't include me in that one. I love you, man. I love you. But you are out of your tree when it comes to this. But you know what? That's okay. Can't have everything. Okay? And by the way, Mr. President, if I may speak, Bobby Kennedy ain't doing shit. Okay? So this guy came in there, Mr. Rough and Tumble. Mr. You got this, you got all these great people. You got Dr. Oz, and you got Marty McCarrick, and you got this one, and Chema, what's his name? Not Chaturandi. And all these people. What are you doing? Well, we're gonna get rid of red dye number 3. What are you talking about? Have we indicted Fauci yet? What are you doing? What in the name of God are you doing? What is this? Oh, the food regulations. This is your idea of, dear God, you've got to be kidding me. This is it? This is it? Oh my God. This is the biggest bunch of nothing I've ever heard in my life. What's going on here? I don't understand. Bobby Kennedy was, notice how he and Shmuley Botia get away. That was so stupid. That was Bobby Kennedy. Look, Bobby Kennedy, he's a smart guy, but he's not really used to this. See, Bobby Kennedy's never really been, I mean, he's been kind of like the Kennedy, and they've always kind of enjoyed a certain, degree of whatever it is. There ain't no protection here now, my friend. No way. So these are little things that are important. But we'll talk about this. But President Trump, ignore the, I've already answered that. Asked and answered. Big thing in law. Asked and answered. Mr. President, excuse me. Asked and answered. Okay. Anything else? No, that's it. Okay, fine. That's it. Done. Stop talking about it. I don't give it a investigate all you want. It was a terrible thing because it's fine. I was watching the great Judge Napolitano, who was on with Mearsheimer and Scott Ritter and everybody. They acted like it was Watergate. Okay. Let me give you an example. Okay, let me give you an example. Do you ever have a little baby around the house? And you do one of these. Sometimes you'll hear this noise like a thud. And you go, ooh. Like one time I saw these people had a coffee table, like lucite, not lucite, but and the baby, just how this kid is alive, hit his head. This, and the whole table made this kind of weird reverberation. Like, oh my God, this kid got it right here. And the kid was like this, like, what is going on here? So the parents said, okay, nobody said anything. Nobody said anything. Keep talking. How you doing, Joe? Great. And the kid goes, what the fuck? Oh my God. It got dark in here. Okay. The kid, a couple of sniffles, but just said, Jesus. Now, had we reacted the usual way, like, oh my God, you said, what? And the kid would have freaked out and then associated pain with crying, with fear, with anger. Are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong? They don't know. No, you just threw 50,000 things at kids and you're screwing them up. Don't react. It's no big deal. That's what this is. It's no big deal. And by the way, that reminds me of something, and I'm going to say something to you, which has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it reminds me of this, and this is critical. Don't spank kids. Now you're going to say, wait a minute, my daddy, the hell with you and your daddy. Don't talk about you and your daddy. Don't spank kids. And one of the reasons why I'll never forget this, speaking of mixed messages, when you get a kid, a baby, and you spank it, okay? And you spank that area of the buttocks. Not skin, not hard, but just that innervates in the brain around the genitourinary area. It's very close. There is, if you don't think this area cannot be considered sensual, try rubbing a woman's butt. You don't know, in a subway, see what her husband. If it's like, it's not an arm, it's okay. They're connected. We're not going to explain the neurology of this. So when you take a child and you say anger, yelling, volume, hitting, and maybe a weird kind of reaction where the kid says, what was that? Because a lot of kids they're not having sexual kids version. But you're saying, wait a minute, what is this? Plus, I'm getting attention, and I'm feeling kind of weird. Like, is that that's weird. That's a different, it stings. But you are setting the stage for some kind of weird domination loop later on that you don't even know about. You haven't even thought of it because you're just used to just hitting them because my daddy took my belt and told me, if you come here, I'm going to pick a switch. I'm going to tan your hide, buddy. Don't you ever. And when I tell people that, Invariably, people will say, it's ridiculous, which is what people do because they don't understand it. One time, I talked to a psychiatrist, and I presented that, and he said, oh, you're absolutely right. Now you're going to see this psychiatrist. So see what happens is you got to understand what you're doing, what you're reinforcing, what you're creating, and you're also setting the stage for other things. So when we react to everything the government, the press theoretically says, what we're doing is we are teaching them how to react the next time. Well, we got to rise out of that one. We got rid of Waltz. Yeah, let's see who. Well, this is great. Let's go after Pete Hegseth next. Pete Hegseth, who's got crosses on him. We don't like Pete Hegseth. And by the way, whether I like these people, I don't know these people. I don't know anything about them. But the president likes them. That's all I care about. And if you like them, it's good enough for me. So what are we going to do? We're going to cave in because of Goldberg? Yeah, I know who he is. I know. Waltz and Goldberg are like this when it comes to Israel. Absolutely the same. I don't know. I'm not going to fire him. Next, I'm going to stop talking about it. I got things to talk about. I'm going to talk about MS-13. I'm going to talk about the borders. Tom Homan's not done. I'm going to talk about inflation. I'm going to talk about... By the way, anybody notice, honey, that egg prices are fine now? Gas is down. Anybody talk about that? No, we're talking about signal. About what? Nobody cares about that. And you teach him. You teach him. And also, indifference is one of the best tools ever. What's the worst kind of abuse for a kid? Really, I mean, theoretically, is indifference. Last point. You know these horse whisperers? There is something to this. And a friend of mine told me that one time he saw one. And he goes into the paddock or whatever the hell it's called. And this one horse was acting kind of weird. So he walks in. And he goes kind of near it, but turns his back to the horse. And the horse says, what the hell is this? Who's this guy? It's not so much that it was domain or terrain. It was like, who's this guy? What the hell's going on with this guy? That's weird. Hey, over here. What about me? What about me? What about me? Don't know about you. Yeah, but what about... Okay, fine. So what happened was, they remember that when a horse, a foal or whatever it's called, the mother, the mare, I don't know what the names are. It is critical for the horse to get the attention of the mother. And then when the mother wants to discipline the horse, looks the other way. It drives the horse crazy. And that goes again, showing you the behavior of this. By the way, anybody got a cat? You have a cat? A dog to an extent. You know how you get a dog's attention or a cat's attention? Like this. Behind the neck. This. Why? Mother picks him up like that. Ooh, atavistic, I remember that. And put your hand over the muzzle, the mouth. And if you can shake like that, you're telling him, I control you. I'm your mother, and I control your mouth. And if I control your mouth, you don't eat, you don't defend yourself, you don't do anything. This is the source, this is the center of your universe, and I'm controlling it. We got to tell the media, we control you. You don't tell us what to do. We ignore you. That's enough. We're done with that. Next, move on. Let's talk about eggs. What? Let's talk about eggs. We don't want to talk about eggs. Fine. Go outside. I'm in charge. I'm the president, not you. Got that, Caitlin? You're going to be doing some good morning rebuke by the whole of this. You're over with. This is done. You're in some vestige. It doesn't matter. We're in charge. If you're in charge, act like you're in charge. Be a boss. Be in control and tell them. And think image, 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 image. And remember, 585 days, midterms. You go after the people that you need to turn to win. Democrats, independents, undecideds, and people who might be Democrats that you can bring over. You don't keep going to the same people. Lose the Laura Ingraham, lose the Hannity. That's over with. Nobody cares. You've won them. You've already won them. Newsmax, all that. I've already won that. Why do you keep doing this? Why does Pam Bondi keep going to the Fox News? No, you go to the DOJ. You interview her at your big desk at the Bobby Kennedy. Show people. You know, she's blonde hair. Show her the power. Have her walk down the hall. It's like, Jesus, this is the Department of Justice? Yep. Here's my office. Want to see it? Remind people of the power. Don't go to their studio. They come to you. Now, what I've given right now is worth millions of dollars. Are they going to take me up on it? No. No. Why? Because the old style is what they're familiar with and regarding. So Pilgrim Media, thank you. MRO Levon, thank you. Fred Haddad Jr., thank you. Or Haddad. And Raul Rodriguez, thank you as well for everything. By the way, follow Mrs. L. She's going to have it. Wait till she tells you all about. Follow her on at Lynn's Warriors on X. She's got pictures of the cherry blossoms, and they were, if you're allergic to cherry blossoms, good luck with that. I mean, they were everywhere. Let her tell you what it's like, and let her tell you whom she met with and the power of Lynn's Warriors. Don't forget, my friend, do make sure you are subscribed here to Lionel Nation. We'll see you later. Have a great and a glorious day. See you then. Until then, my friends, remember, the monkey's dead. Show's over. Sue ya. Dad.